Hi everyone, it's Danny here from Angel Handmade Papercraft. Today I am working with Time for Tea Designs and I am using Santa Baby. It's a rubber stamp which is available in the Etsy shop and I'll be colouring it up with Copic markers. So we're going to go through nice and quickly, just starting with my E55 marker. Just grabbing my colour list here. So I'm using a bit of a darker tone than what I normally do. I'm using E51, E53 and E55. I'm also doing something that I also don't normally do, which is I'm starting with the darkest colour first. Normally I would lay down the lightest colour first. Not sure what was going on with me on this day, but this is what we're going with. So everybody does things differently. Some people do it this way all the time. Normally I go lightest. I use my lightest colour just to lay down a light coat, and then I go darkest to lightest. But for today, for some reason, I am changing it up. So working our way through with the skin tones. Just carefully nice and blending all of those colours out. It's a very, very skinny image, but there's still plenty of room to lay down all of that colour. So just working my way through, pulling all of the colour out from the outside of the face to the inside, popping a little colour and to her nose to define that a little bit. I'm jumping in with some R20 for the cheeks there, and then I'm pulling back my lightest markers to blend those cheeks out before I completely blend it into the face. So that's what I'm doing here. Just working my way through. That's the skin tones done. I will have a list of these on my blog if you are interested. I am now going to go in and do her little high heel shoes here. Well, they're not high heels, sorry, they're just shoes. There's no heel that we can see there. I'm using some R05, R35 and R37. A new red blend for me. I'm loving it. So I added the lightest colour down first. I'm going in with my R37. Then I'll go back to my R35 to pull that colour out, and then back finally with my R05. So just carefully working your way through, pulling all of that colour out, being very, very careful with red markers because they do like to come out of and bleed a little bit if you're not careful. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump onto the white sections of her outfit, just in case that red does bleed. I don't want to pull any of that colour into the white sections. So I'm starting off, I'm adding in the C3, and then I'll go in with the C1, and then I'll pull the colour out using the 0 colourless marker, colourless blender I should say. So just working my way through carefully, one bit at a time. Loving this, it's so pretty. When I actually finish this and it's all dry, the detail and it looks so fluffy. It's so cute. I love it. I think I have this stamp back when it used to be a digital stamp, so it was one of my favorites back then, and it'll still be one of my favorites now in the rubber stamps. So if you can get your hands on it, please do. I'll pop the link for the Etsy shop on my blog, and I'll have the link for the image at the bottom of this video. So don't forget to jump over and have a look if it's still available at the time that you're watching this video. So I'm carefully just adding in the darkest areas just around where her hands are holding up the edge of her dress, and I'm pulling out all of those pleats using the darkest marker, and then I'll go in with the lightest colour and pull all of that colour out. So just working my way through carefully. One little bit after another. And then finally back with the R05, I'll pull all of that colour out into the dress so it can all start coming together. Just being very, very careful not to get it into that white area because it's not very easy to get back out again, even with the colourless blender. Alright, so that's the bottom half of her dress, and now I'm going to start on the top half. Now, it is a very small area, so keep try and keep your marker up straight as you can, so you're using just the very edge of the nib and not laying down very much colour at all. So it's coming together quite nicely. So I'm just going to give her a nice gold and black belt. I thought it would be cute to have her look a little Santa-ish to go with her red and white fluffy dress. So again, being very, very careful to make sure that my marker is nice and straight. And popping all of that colour down. And I did forget to do the top of her dress there, so I'm just being careful not to pick up any of that red marker and pulling the colour out using the colour blender. Now I'm going to go in with her little Santa hat and doing the same thing, adding all of the darkest areas in. Then I'll go in with the middle colour and then, oh sorry guys, the zero colourless blender to pull that colour back out, because I still want it to look like it's white, but I do want it to have a little bit of fluffiness. So pulling all of that back out again. And then we'll go in with the red and then move on to her hair. I'm using the darkest marker here. With my red markers, I don't always like to lay down the lightest colour first, just because sometimes when you lay down too much red marker, it does have that tendency to bleed. So because it was such a small area, I didn't worry about laying down that lightest colour. Right, now going back in with my lightest. Pulling all of that colour out. Giving her some nice beautiful blue eyes. So I decided to make her a blonde. So I am using Y21, Y23 and Y26 on her hair. So just nice thin strokes in her hair, just working my way around, putting some shadow in around her face. And then I'm just going to go section by section and try and work out where my darkest areas are going to be and pop all of that colour down. Adding all of that dark colour underneath her face there, where her face is going to create a shadow. Just nice even flicks. Now, if you're more comfortable flicking towards yourself, feel free to turn your image around. Whatever makes you comfortable. If that's the easiest way you find to do it, then turn that image around. Excuse my big head in the way. In my dressing gown, I was colouring late at night. I have a habit of doing that. I was quite tired at the time, but just couldn't sleep, so I thought I'd go and colour for a little while. Alright, so now we're going to go down to our Y23 and start pulling all of that colour out and getting them all blending together. And then we'll go back in with our Y21. And that is our image all coloured up. Looking gorgeous. And then we're going to add some Wink of Stella onto those white areas. Just trying to do it right under the camera so I can see exactly where I'm putting all of that colour down. Sorry, I'm a little bit off camera, not focused on what I'm doing. Alright, so hopefully you can see that glitter, there it is, just a slight little bit there.